All right, Malia, here we are, the much anticipated
Hey, hey.
Joey X Malia podcast that we've been talking about for
Yes,
so long. All right, we have to introduce you. People who are in my programs know who you are because you've been here from the very beginning. But why don't you tell people who are just landing in our world right now who you are and who you are to me?
okay. I am Malia. I am a mother. I am a hard worker. I am just dedicated to everything that I do. And I have a 3-year-old daughter who is my everything and who I am to you. Look, you guys, I've known Joey for almost 11 years. She was my high school teacher. She was the first teacher who ever actually really noticed me and tried to have real conversations with me outside of you need to be in class.
That's wild to me because you were not hard to notice. Are you sure that that's a true statement?
Yes, I think you were like the one teacher who I'd have real personal conversations with. So Joey was my teacher, who then became my mentor, my friend, my best friend, my mother, my all in one inclusive person that I could go to for anything and everything. And it wasn't just like school ended and relationship ended. No, school ended and she made sure that the relationship continued, and she came to me in a time where I was going through a lot and was like, "Hey, you want to work for me?" And I was like, "The timing is perfect." I was leaving one job. Well, I was in the middle of technically deciding if I was leaving or staying. And I just was like, the energy of me being there is not right. And the energy of me being around Joey is just perfect. And what I want to do moving forward myself. So it just aligned. And now we're here.
Really hard. First of all, you just give me way too many props. I'm just like, I can't imagine it being any other way. And it just feels so regular to me. But I love you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, I never even thought about how much time passes because I feel like you and I can both go in our little introverted modes, right? Where I've been in a black hole where time doesn't exist. So, if I love you forever. I love you for all of time. And that's the time is not a thing. I wanted to say when I was starting my business, one of the reasons why Malia popped up so strong in my mind was that you really helped me run shit back in the classroom. So there was so much I couldn't have done without you. You were refilling my water bottle. I don't know why it's the first example I put that. I felt like I drank a lot of water. I still drink a lot of water. And like my water bottle, that's the attentiveness of Malia. She's always like, let me refill your water bottle. But you just learned.
It's because of the coupon book.
You made me a
Remember?
coupon book. You made me a coupon book. Was that when I was pregnant
Yes.
with Kamali too? So I was like extra thirsty.
No. I already graduated. I think it was just I was a broke high schooler and I was like, I want to do something for her. And I was like, oh, I'll do a coupon book, but what can I do for coupons? And you
I
always ask me
love
to
coupon.
read.
I feel like people get coupon books and they're like, oh, that's nice. And they put it away and they're just like, dang, this person couldn't give me money or buy me something. I love a coupon book. I will use the heck out of a coupon book.
We definitely used her coupon book.
I don't know what it was, like stuff that was very valuable to me, very high currency value to me in my life, just made my life easier. But with or without the coupon book, I just felt like you became very quickly my right hand, and you were my TA for you were my student, you were my TA, you held a position in BSU, I think, or at least a
I
non-official.
didn't hold a position. I was just there. I was just
Unofficial, like,
sitting
we were
there.
running a snack bar, you were helping, but you were always in the mix and helping, and you have a very organized brain, and you learned me very quickly and how I work, so you always kind of filled in the gaps because you know that when I'm doing what I do, there's a lot of people demanding my energy and attention. I'm usually juggling a lot of things at once, and even back then in high school, you would just be able to see what are the little things that I can do so that she doesn't even have to think about it. And so coming to start a business, you can't put a price tag on that type of support. Because as a business owner and an educator, so I'm still educating people, I'm still creating curriculum, I'm still delivering the teaching, but then we have all this admin work as well. And so to bring somebody on that knows me, I don't have to train them in how my brain works and what I need, what my strengths, what are my weaknesses. It's just so freaking valuable. You can't put a price tag on that. So of course, I thought of you, and it was just such divine timing when it aligned for you to come join me. Also, it was such a divine pressure, I think, to be a brand new business owner. Like, people don't do this. They don't hire somebody, especially in online businesses that don't really take on a lot of overhead. and you're just working for your own salary. But my business ended up being rooted a lot in those early days of how can I pay Malia first?
You guys, I was even like, Joey, you don't have to pay me. It's okay. When we get there and the business gets there, then you can. And she was like, no, Malia, I'm paying you. I'm not going to not pay you. And I was like, okay.
I mean, you have a child, you have to support yourself. And at a point, it can't not feel extracting to take free labor. You know what I mean? There's something really holy about the honoring of somebody's time and effort and being motivated to generate that revenue so that you can be taken care of and you can take care of your people. So we started the business essentially together in 2024 over the summer. And this podcast, we really wanted to walk you through together what 2025 has meant for our work, our business, our vision, and the education that we're putting out through my work online, which couldn't exist without Malia. So I wanted you to tell the story with me. So let's take it back to the start of 2025. What do you remember about that time?
Woo, it feels so long ago. I'm trying to remember where I was like.
Wait, let me position this because we had worked for the second half of 2024 towards launching a program called Be the Voice. We pulled the plug on it right at the end
Yes.
of the year. And that was really hard because it already enrolled some students into the program, but we were so new in business. And I don't think we even understood how premature we were to launch a education program at that depth and scale. And the fact that we got any enrollees is amazing, but we were definitely I was given the advice of like, if you don't want to burn out, maybe put a pin in that. And it made the really hard decision in late fall of 2024 to refund people. Actually, no, we just pivoted into one-on-ones with those people. And then we didn't have this group program where you were going to play a prominent role. It was kind of a family
Right.
business. So we entered 2025 and I was in pretty much hibernation mode. So where were you at?
Yeah. I feel like even though all that happened, I feel all the time with you, I'm always like, it's gonna be okay. Was I like, dang, we had this big program going and it was about to go big. But I think also part of me was like, I just know Joey and I know something's gonna come and we're gonna do what's needed to do. And the one thing that I've really taken on, especially I think at the beginning of 2025, was things are going to happen and you can either freak the F out about it, or you can just say, all right, let's just write this course and let's keep it going. So I think that's where I was at the beginning of 2025. I was really excited still too because the business was so new and I was learning a lot of things through your business and learning how to you guys, I had never ever messed with the website or even just editing a landing page. And so I just also was like, I'm not worried because I know there's still more stuff for me to learn. So maybe us pausing is so that I can continue to learn a little bit more. That way, when we do bring all these new programs, I will be where we need to be. I think for me, the hardest part was learning to be patient, getting my brain to go like, you got to take your time, things are going to work. And I think that's also part of it is learning, slow down, slow down. It's okay. So at the start of the year, the way I felt was things are going to align how they need to align, which
Yeah.
I felt like is why we are where we are today.
Yeah.
We needed that slow down year where we processed everything
Yeah.
and did everything.
Year.
Because
It
I
was
feel like
like a season, a winter. That was the only that we really
yeah, and that's how I feel comparing now to then, man, it's a whole
right. For
different
2026, January 2025.
like
Sheesh.
a huge
Yeah, I wanted
shift.
to say
Like,
right now, again, things that money can't buy. For you to have been my essentially my employee and to have that rooted faith of everything's gonna work out, money can't buy that. Because I think probably after ending that program, my biggest stress was how am I gonna pay Malia? How am I gonna pay Malia? I would go through this process and transmute that. I really had to contend a lot with scarcity, but in stepping into that leadership position and knowing the vision that I presented to you at the beginning and where I have wanted to grow this and what that means for you and providing for you and your family, that was the biggest pressure on me more than anything else. And
mm,
again, just money can't buy that solidarity and that deep, unshakable belief that somebody else has in you, even though the fact that you were getting less hours, less pay, more uncertainty, and yet you're like, no, I know where this is headed and I'm gonna stay the course and see it through. Geez, I'm so freaking blessed.
Yeah, I just think, I mean, not to digress, but I just feel like Joey, it goes back to, oh, don't get all teary-eyed. Like, I feel like I've told you this, but maybe I haven't, but like you saved me. Like you guys in
Oh
high
my
school,
gosh.
I was paying. I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But that's where I think that's where it all comes down to is that you guys, I was playing basketball in high school. I was getting scouted from a college. And at that game that I was getting scouted at, I tore my ACL. And literally I came back and that's when I became a TA because I was like, I need to fill in a class and I don't want to do this. And Joey's like, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make this happen so that you could be my TA this period. Let's just move stuff around. And she even helped me with the counselor to make sure that it
Yeah.
worked out. And that's the first time I was like, why is she going so hard? Like, she doesn't need to do all this. I am just a normal student. It's not her problem that I have this problem and I'm distraught. But you had that faith and you had that energy of you're gonna be okay. You're fine. You tore your ACL, but you also acknowledge, I know you're hurting and I know you're sad, but also come here. Let me help you realize that it's gonna be okay. So I think that's why I have so much faith in you because you have so much faith in everyone that's around you. It's just a full circle. And that's why I'm like, no matter where this business takes us, I'm always gonna be like, it's gonna work. We're fine. Joey got it.
Damn. All I can see is the memory of you hobbling around with your full leg cast after tearing your ACL. That thing went all the way up to your hip. And I think I still sent you on copy runs though. You're a busybody and you need to feel useful. So I was helping you stay distracted from turning into a vegetable in your cast.
Definitely. That's what
Love
I'm
you so
saying.
much,
So
Malia.
I love you lots. So that's what I'm saying. With this, I think I've never really had that feeling like it's not gonna work or anything like that. And I just had that big like Joey has this goal and she is determined, and when she is determined, we're getting there. No doubt about it. So if
Mm.
I could be there, be a part of that, like that's just so special and that's just it's just an honor. Joey, you know, people probably really want to work for you, and I get to be the first person that works for you.
I feel like I've been putting you through a roller coaster, and there was part of 2025 that definitely there was a lot of roller coaster moments. I know that I started 2025, I had your full faith, but I was still there's a lot of pressure of like where do we go from here after tabling that program, Be the Voice. And I was working on the book. I was working on Find Yourself Here. And when you're talking about you're learning the back end and you're learning about websites and all that, I was learning too. I feel like I was only a few steps ahead of you, and then we were trying to train each other essentially in a whole new world of skills and language and processes. And so the book, I felt like the book happened really slowly, but now when I look back on it, like maybe it wasn't that if I feel like I took a long time on it. But you know what? I finally got this pretty solid draft of that workbook. And then I had this lightning inspiration to put it up on my stories and have people raise their hand to be test readers. And I got 20 something people. And my audience was pretty small still at the time. Maybe only 1,000 or so at the beginning of the year. I wish I actually knew. I didn't pay attention to that. I want to say, I don't even think I had 2,000 followers yet at the time. And I got around 20 people raise their hand to be test readers. Now, I don't remember if you protested this, but I definitely know my husband, Michael, was like, why are you just giving out your drafts for free? And what if people
That was
copy
probably
it?
him. But I probably did add, yeah, I agree with Michael. Since the beginning, I have always been that to Joey of, why are you charging this little? And Joey's like, it's just no. And I'm like, Joey, like,
But at that time, I knew it was important to grow community. That is a currency that's more valuable than the dollar, right? And
yeah.
I knew that I was still testing out my curriculum. I was still refining. I was still finding out really what teacher I'm meant to be for the people that I'm gathering in this new online space. And with all of those things undefined, I needed to do whatever it took to talk to my people. You know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely having you and Michael's voices of don't undervalue yourself, that has been very instrumental and important. And you both are very, very protective of me and my work and my time and my energy. And that's why I keep you all so close to me. And at the same time, it goes right back into the work that I was doing in the community when I was a classroom teacher. When you have strength in numbers, when you have a village of people that believe in you, no matter what opposition comes your way, you're going to come out on top. And I had all that evidence from my decade plus of work before transitioning online. And I needed to make sure I was still doing what I knew to be true, especially as I'm starting to be eyes wide open about what's out there in the coaching industry and the online entrepreneurial industry, and realizing this is what I don't want to do. This is how I'm different. So me putting the book out there like that, that was definitely a moment of clarity for me that I can't put anything out there of value that's useful until I have people's voices inform me and shape my work so I can make these adjustments. And so that became a very powerful moment. And you worked a lot on tweaking. You worked in that Canva doc a lot. We were
Oh,
probably all too perfectionists at that point too. But we had the
I was
luxury of time to kind of do it at that time, right?
yeah, because part of a lot of it is I have to find how you like things. I was trying to figure out how you like things, but then I was also learning how to edit things. So it was definitely a lot. I remember one day I was like, oh my gosh, when are we gonna be done?
We worked on it really for real all the way up until June. We launched the digital version of it in March. And then we were trying to, at one point, I was thinking about offering it on Amazon, and I probably put countless hours into it for the print version. And it still exists, but I have never marketed it yet.
We
People can
like
buy it
print
print.
it and then we had to like reprint it because it was stuff that was
Terrible.
like
Don't like the
15
Amazon
pages.
printing. Yeah. I'm still so picky. It's just not what I want. So we've shelved it for now. I'm like, oh, we have the digital version. Okay, let's pick up the pieces a little bit more. Our vision for 2025 and our bigger vision. Do you want to put in your words what our vision was for the year and how that ties into the bigger vision of our work together?
Okay, the bigger version of the business is giving back to the community in ways that we can uplift each other and hold each other accountable, but also make sure that we all are earning, we're all getting what we need from each other. And it's not, I need to be better
Mhm.
than you. It's more, we need to come together and use our resources that we have and let's make something happen. And that's also what's continued to make me believe so much in this work is because of our big picture. And for 2025, our goal was to get our communities together so that they can
Mhm.
see what we're trying to offer and that we're not just these people who are about money. That's not our big picture. Our goals are always about bringing the community in. And that's what we were trying to do through 2025 is get that community base set
Yeah.
up. And the thing is, the community that we're bringing in, it's not, oh, they came in our program and they're done. We want you to fulfill your needs within our program and
Yeah.
help yourself.
Yeah, the bigger vision, like you said, has always been to create a space that disrupts the hierarchies. So it's not about who has privilege and power, but that the necessary voices in the global majority have the tools, the capacity, and the platforms to speak and transmit knowledge. And so, in our longer term vision, that looks a lot of different ways. There will be place based opportunities, but online is such an incredible opportunity to have voices and stories and sacred knowledge be shared, but that's missing from traditional education systems, right? Most voices are learning how to suppress themselves and silence themselves, or all you get is evidence of how risky it is to use your voice. And so I've been teaching folks to use their voice and share their stories in the classroom for years. So it's a natural extension of the work that I was doing as an educator before to do it now. But the interesting piece, like you mentioned, money has never been the end all be all for us to just accumulate a bunch of profit and revenue, but we have this opportunity to redistribute money or use money in ways that are so strategic to the community to build things, build schools, build online schools, place-based schools, build places to fund other people's programs. So when you're talking about the community coming into our programs and not just being a one and done, we also see our vision as whatever you're doing for your people, whatever your voice represents, what body of knowledge or what art is meant to be created through you, what stories are meant to be transmitted through you. We want to continue to support you. We want to grow a platform where you can be heard, where your people can connect to you. And then anchoring our 2025 work really was how do we sow the seeds of these communities. The big thing that ended up happening was launching Sovereign Storyteller. And that happened parallel to you and I working on another project for our oral expressions reunion. So we were doing a 10-year reunion for our spoken word, our high school spoken word class.
Mhm.
And that was a big project. And Malia worked on that a lot for the first half of 2025. Parallel to that, I was experimenting with putting curriculum out and just gathering a community of learners. And it was meant to be like a mini course. I remember just it being like, oh, it's a mini beta course. And at first it was going to be self-paced. So I was just going to record myself going through the curriculum. All the curriculum was pulled from the frameworks I had been using for one-on-one clients that were the most fundamental tools. So I put it together into a curriculum. I was like, let me just throw it out there as an experiment, and it's going to be a mini course. And then I got the bright idea of really my most magical teaching happens when there's other people in the room. So let me just throw out this beta round invitation where if you sign up for the course, you get this whole 7 module. It turned out to be a whole 7 module course with 7 workbooks and 7 standalone workshops for each module. And then I'll release each workshop 1 week after another. Here's the schedule. If you sign up for this course, you agree to be part of the live recording of the course that then will go on to be an evergreen course. And you didn't even work on that because it was meant to be so experimental and light and like your main focus.
Because you were like, oh, it's just gonna be a mini thing. And I remember you were showing me, and I was like, this mini just this is a lot. I was like, what do you mean? Because at the same time, you were mainly focused on that, and I was doing everything for the
Well,
reunion. And then we led into summer, and that was a whole thing between myself. But yes.
she took a little break. She had a little personal life detour. And in some ways, I did too. No, I was just on summer vacation. You were
But
spiraling.
it worked out perfectly. I think it worked out perfectly because then we hopped right back into it. Like it was
In the
nothing.
fall. Yeah. I
Mhm.
ended up creating this accidental, not so many core offering. And I launched it in April. I delivered it May through June. Malia was like in and out because it was just like, it wasn't even our main focus at the time. We were focused on the
Of
documentary
course,
for the
we
oral.
doing all but
I'm
that doesn't.
cooking on the side. This is just what I'm doing on the side at this point.
Yeah.
Hilarious looking back at it now. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk to that I feel like was the biggest gift my past self gave my future self was maybe because I approached it so experimentally and I had known that with the last launch that we did for Be a Voice that didn't end up happening, we didn't end up delivering that program. I had a lot of residual urgency in my nervous system because that other program didn't pan out. And I didn't really even know how to launch when I was launching it. So again, it's a miracle that I enrolled any students in the first place. But I think why I was so experimental and maybe I subconsciously also didn't include you that much because that may have made it less official in my mind, you know?
I can
And I
see
was able
that.
to be like, this is just a chance for me to rewrite my nervous system's relationship with launching and inviting students into a live program. I didn't want it to be connected to the old memory of the launch that didn't pan out the time before. So maybe just by cementing it in my brain as this is just a side project, it's just a little experiment. I only care about getting 3 students to enroll. It doesn't matter because they're just helping me hold myself accountable to recording the modules. I just care about getting the course recorded so that then I can offer it in the future. So it doesn't even matter who comes, how many people, how much money I make. Just 3 people, just a few voices in the room so that I'm not talking to a void. And 2 more things I told myself was I was going to create a 6-week launch program and see it through no matter what. It didn't matter if people were liking my content. It didn't matter if people were signing up or not. It didn't matter what. I was going to see a 6-week launch through. So I had the whole outline of these are the posts I'm going to post, these are the emails, and it was all curriculum based. It was this is what I want to teach. Let me teach it through my free content. People like the vibe of it, then they can come into the course. And I want to just experiment with a bunch of different things. And then the third and final intention for that was I want to make the whole launch experience feel so light and joyful and almost craveable so that my nervous system seeks the launch experience again and again versus wants to avoid it. I literally was like, make it craveable. I designed my meals in the launch. What am I going to eat every day of the launch? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like this is a sneak peek into how my brain works. I was like, I'm going to design moments where I'm sitting out in the sun. I designed my life in the launch to be such a beautiful memory and such a craveable nervous system experience that I would love launching, that I would literally be done launching and be like, man, let's do it again. I had to change my relationship with it. And I had had that one launch where I didn't hate it, but because of the outcome of having to close the program, there was a lot of grief for me attached there. But also, just having had spent a year or so in the industry there's so much negative talk about launches. So many people have negative experiences with their launches, and that starts to seep in a little bit into your consciousness. And there's a lot of launches out there that are extremely high pressure, extremely extractive and exploitative, cause burnout for the person launching. And so launches have gotten a bad rep. But for us as independent educators, how else are your people going to find out about the things that you have to offer the world if you're not going through a process to put it out there? So I had to redefine it for myself. And the beautiful thing was then I ended up getting 23 students enrolling. So
Yeah.
20 people passed my 3-person goal.
That's what I was like, and I remember when you said that, you're like, I just want 3 people. And I was like, Joey, you're gonna get more than 3 people. I think the number was 20. Didn't I say I was like, you're gonna get
Your okay,
20?
so we have to tell people about the Malia number. Your Malia number was 20. Go ahead, tell them about the
Yes.
Malia number.
So I will wait until my body and my brain is like, it's just a number that just comes in my head. And a lot of times too, I don't know if I ever told you this, Joey, but a lot of times too, I'm like, damn, that's a crazy number.
The number
Right.
scares you?
And I'm always like, "Mm," but I'm like, no, like that number, because even then there's times where I think of usually 3, 4 numbers that come in my brain. And there's one number that always just sticks out to me. Sometimes I would wait to tell Joey because I don't know if I want to say that yet. But now I love my Malia number because it's worth every time you
We always surpass the Malia number, right? I
always.
think we always surpass the Malia number.
So it's basically just like a number. I obviously intake what we're offering in the program that's going on, if it's a live workshop, if it's whatever it is particular to you. And I come up with that number and I stick to it. And I subconsciously will every day think about that number. Okay, we're here. We're going to get there, Joey. Okay, we're almost there. And I'm a math person. So I will break it down and be like, we have this many days left of the launch. We get this many and this many. We can do it. We can do it. So if you ever hear say Malia number, that's just the number we come up with. It works out.
But I love this because it really is such a clear example of the neuroscience of belief and how that guides your actions. And I mean, I think it's also really beautiful that you generate the number for me. And a lot of times, my number that I come up with isn't even based off of me contending for scarcity, like, oh, I can't get more. I'll just imagine the program and feel really full with, oh, there's 10 people. I imagine the program and 3 people is good enough because it's not really about filling the room. It's just 3 people holding me accountable to record the thing. So I'll have a different idea of what the thing is, but I'm open to what it's meant to be for others, right? And so you being somebody so close to me, but seeing what I'm creating and being like, no, I think we can stretch that and it could be this thing for so many more people. And you dropping into that transmission of who is this for? How many people can I imagine in the room? And then the neuroscience of now that we both believe that's the number we're working towards, you finding that number of people. And so that number really shifts our little micro actions every single day in service to the vision that we're creating together. And it's collective from the very beginning. So I think that's so beautiful. And Sovereign Storyteller ended up going so smoothly. And the community that was gathered together then is still going strong with us now. We relaunched Sovereign Storyteller in the fall, where Malia came back from her little personal break and I came back from vacation. And we ended up having a very light launch for Sovereign Storyteller in the fall because something else came out of the woodwork over the summer that you and I probably could have never envisioned when we started 2025.
It's so funny because I even think about when you were talking to me about it. My brain was not like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. My brain was just
What's the
like,
it? Let's tell people what the it is. What's the surprise X factor that happened for us in the fall?
okay. Yeah, it was Ancestral Wealth. And I remember Joey was talking to me about it in the summer. I wasn't really paying attention to it because I was like, she's still deciding. I like to let Joey really like deep dive into what she wants to do and take that time because she is very much like, I'm going to listen to what the universe is telling me, the spirits and my body and everything. So she was talking to me about it. I was just, well, like, if that's the direction you want to go, let's take it. I just want to make sure you feel good in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then I think what, like a month later, you were like, okay, yeah, so you're gonna be doing this and this.
Oh, we locked in September. We were fully launching
Okay,
at the
okay,
end of
okay.
September.
Okay, so
Something
the
was
towards the end of September, isn't that when you locked in?
correct. Nobody knows what ancestral wealth is. I had an opportunity emerge from my growing friendship with Simone Seol to create something. Simone over the summer had been throwing out, I think we're going to teach together. And there was such resonance because our conversations and our relationship was so rich. And we were synthesizing all these aspects of our culture, our ancestral inheritance, our sense making, and things that both of us felt pulled to teach, but we're just waiting for the right opportunity to teach, but it never really came together as quite a whole package. And then maybe it was late August or early September. I remember getting a download where it was this phrase of be who your ancestors told you you are. And I was like, we have to teach something on this. And I threw that idea out to Simone. And then she was like, yeah, okay. And didn't really have a reaction to it. And then later she came back and she was like, I can't stop thinking about that. So our conversations just deepened and deepened from there. But even those early conversations, I think it's so funny. Like I
Was it
wish I
supposed
had
to
a
be a
clearer
workshop
memory.
at first?
It was supposed to be a single workshop. When I tell you this thing became something that none of us could have ever imagined, this full graduate level intensive course that has really refined and crystallized the direction of both Simone and my work, we had no idea what we were saying yes to. When I talk about we're each of us is just a channel for something bigger to come through us, and we're just here to bring certain things into existence in the world. I really mean it. I really mean that for every single thing that I create, but I think that the joining together of forces between not just me and Simone, but also our very tight knit team. So even my team and Simone's team, we really became a family, and joining our gifts together, Ancestral Wealth just became something that was bigger than any one of our single imaginations. But when we all came together, it became just this immense offering. And we really believe that it's shaping the culture. And I said to Simone, I could see a pretty clear vision of my work in Ancestral Wealth, what we're teaching here, but I thought it was going to be 20 years down the line. I even remember talking to you early on in our business, I'm going to create all of this, and then I'm going to turn around and tell everybody how when I created my business, I was redistributing wealth and creating infrastructure. That was the original intention before I ever even created a website, was Dr. Joey Lee. Before any of it, that was, I'm going to do the work. I'm going to show the work that is possible. And then 20 years from now, I'm going to turn around and teach about how to redistribute using your business. And my ancestors were like, nope, 2025, you start now.
You go.
I can't even, everything else was such a time vortex. And like you said, you got pulled into the team, you got given your little task. And it was such a blessing to have every single person in the team be in service to this and offer their genius. And meanwhile, I'm finishing the Sovereign Storyteller launch and wrote another healthy cohort and delivered the two programs side by
Same.
side.
You guys like woo when I was, and I would even be like, Joey, are you sure? And I was like, but we're good. And just I think it's really different because I know Joey, but even still I am blown away at times just seeing Joey work, and even Simone, because I knew Simone and I would see her page and stuff, but I got to really see Simone and see her coaching. And I remember one time I had went through like the community page, and I just was like, it was just so cool to see. And I see people creating stuff and really taking stuff in, and it's just everything is aligning perfectly. So that's why I'm even thinking back to us just having one little conversation and look at how far it came. And even within our team is all over. Two of us are in Cali. The rest of them are not even out here. And so it's really cool to see that we are all in different places, but we are all able to come together with the same vision and want the same outcome for everybody that joined the program and was in the program. And just even, like I said, just seeing sovereign storytellers and even seeing ancestral wealth at the same time, like Joey, that was crazy, but you did it, we did it, we all did it. It's just feeling you can't really explain, just the we're doing something, and I'm not just doing this to fulfill money needs, or I'm not doing this, oh, it's just another job, let me get it done. Real, this is fulfilling in my life, and it's cool to be able to see people go through their process and then come out and go, I did that.
Jeez, hearing this from you right now, I got so many feelings. I don't care how long I've known you. It's incredible to make you feel proud. I'm the type of person that I care more about the people close to me. And if they're proud of me, it means so much more than some random person on the internet. because I don't take it for granted. I know you're gonna give it to me straight and you're gonna tell me if that's not my best work and you could do so much better, you know? So when my biggest critics are the ones I keep closest to me because they know what my potential is. So when I make you proud, I'm like, I think I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And to speak on that too, of just like us being your biggest critics. Literally, the maybe 2 days ago, I was like telling you something in a voice memo, and my Michael was like, "That's so rude," and I was like, "It's not me being rude. Joey gets what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He knows I mean it in the most respectful way." And then you responded, and I was like, "I told you."
I don't even if you said something that would have been rude, I didn't even register. I'm like, okay, got it.
Especially, I
Information
was like,
down.
my brain didn't even register it that way either. And I was like, "Well, yeah." I was like, "You're outside looking in." I was like, "I can get that," but I was like, "Joey knows what I'm saying."
Then
Like,
what happens when the foundation is love? When you know that the love is unquestionable, the truth gets space to live. So anything that you're saying is probably true. It's probably, okay, Joey, you need to do this or you need to think about this. And I never take it any way outside of love because the love is there. That's unquestioned, right? What was I going to say? Something else. Oh, you were talking about the people in the program, both programs. So we're recording this podcast literally on the back of closing Sovereign Storyteller, our second cycle. We just got out of that last call and then we jumped into this because we wanted to do the year in review to commemorate closing out this year. And you pray, I pray and you put all the intentions that you can into your work. I don't know, maybe there's some people out there who just care about making money, but that's I can't imagine doing this work and not wishing so deeply in my heart for people to truly find liberation and power and joy and capacity and self-trust and creative expression and hope and self-love, right? Like all of those things. I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing if it wasn't for that. And there's times in a teaching process, like I even remember back in the classroom when I'm working with high school students, where there's times where you're just like, I don't know if I'm getting there. Like the kids are going through some stuff. I don't know
yeah.
if this is working out the way I really want it to. And that happens even as we are teaching adults and working online programs. But to close a cycle and really take a step back and like, wow, people are publishing stuff. People are here talking about putting out books, putting out,
Starting workshops.
their workshops, their programs. Like, oh, the fact that I get to have any small role in supporting or midwifing these creations into existence, man, like you said, I'm so full. Like beyond the dollar, beyond whatever, because I don't even think I have a salary in my business. Yeah. I don't even think I have a salary. Malia's salary is what the business makes.
Joey,
Um,
literally, you guys, Joey is never focused. Like, I hope you guys understand that to the death. Joey is never focused on the money. Like, Joey is always focused on what am I putting out there that is going to be beneficial to my community. And so that's what I'm saying. Her whole thing has always been like, I just want to make sure I can pay you, Malia. And I'm always like, don't stress it, Joey. But she makes it work.
I mean, because, I want to pay Malia six figures. I want to hire more people in my business. I want to create six-figure jobs for people who may not have had that in their legacy. Six figures seem like a fairy tale. So that's where I'm working towards. And in the meantime, truly like my teaching and what I put out there is I want to see people flourish. And so to get little glimpses of that, I'm so full. I'm so full from that evidence. I'm so full from this conversation here, knowing that you're so proud of me and whatever, like that means so much to me too. And we don't sit around talking about this all the time. We're very like forward moving people. So we like don't often sit and review and be like, man, we did that. So
I was like, okay, what's next? But hey, let's
very
keep this
much.
going. No, yeah. And so, and not even like, even to speak on the fact of you saying like six figures is so, what's the word you use? Yes, it's such a fairy tale. And it's funny because like the first time you were like, yeah, like, I want to build this business and I want to be able to have you be able to six figures. Like, I just want to push you. And I was in my head, I was, okay, Joey, what? Six figures? It goes to show. And I had to change my mindset around on that of like, why do I think I can't make six figures? You guys, that goes to show I work for Joey, but I also get to see and read the stuff that like she's doing. And I even have been able to process things because of I'm redoing the workbook, but I'm reading through some of the stuff and I'm like, oh, oh, it's making my brain definitely think. So not only am I able to, I'm not only just working, but I'm also learning like myself through you. I'm like, this job is, like I said, fulfilling in so many different areas. I'm
Mhm.
learning myself. I'm learning new tools. I'm learning you. You guys like I thought I knew Joey, but there's stories. Even today, you told a
Mystery.
story in huh?
I said, "I'm a mystery."
Today she was talking about like you talking about the architecture. I knew that, and I was like, what? So I'm just saying, like, I am just learning like every day. So it's really cool.
I'm a vault of story, let me tell you. I'll be saving them for a rainy day. I've lived
I
a
see.
1,000 lives. I really feel like one of the reasons I sit on so many stories is that I one day I'll probably write a book, right, of my whole life, but half the times, if I string too many stories together in a short time, I'm like, "No one's gonna believe this. This sounds fictional. This sounds made up." The amount of different random experiences I've had in my life, it doesn't make
Mhm.
sense,
Like,
and
she really
so
went through that? I would have not known. I was like, "Oh my gosh." There's so many times I've been like, "Oh my gosh, Joey, like, I'm so sorry, like, you didn't tell me this." Or like, "Oh, wow, that's so cool. Like, I did not know you did that." Like, so it's
sometimes
just
I feel fraud in my business because I teach storytelling and I'm like, but I also am very devoted to remaining a mystery in a lot of ways. I love being mysterious. And so I really don't share as many stories as I encourage other people to share. But I love it. That's the experience for myself that I design of like, when is this special moment that I'm gonna pull this story out of my vault and you get to be the lucky audience who hears it or something like okay. I'm going to wrap up this conversation. We've been talking about 2025. How did 2025 set us up for 2026? Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I feel like 2025 set us up with just the community and us
Yeah.
building the people that we want and just to even get us out there. And you guys, we learned a lot. We had to fine tune some things. Like we had to switch randomly and make it work. And so I think it very much gave us this ability to now know this is when we need to slow down. This is when we need to
Mhm.
start. And just even with the programs that we're putting out there, I'm so excited for all these new programs that we have. And I don't know if you want me to speak on them yet, but there's two programs that we're hoping to get out there soon. So I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
go ahead. I mean, we'll just let our audience know this is what we're cooking up. And until you see it printed on the press, it's not final, but I'm happy to give people a sneak peek into the
so
design process.
yeah, so we're, obviously incorporating now like sovereignty that's being built and that's from being in Sovereign Storyteller. So that is a
The
program that is gonna
alumni.
only
I love
be, yeah, for the alumni. But like I said, it's cool because we get to Joey's bringing in teachers that have been doing
that.
her program and things like that. And it's really cool because we're starting to give back to our community and we're starting to really like do our going towards our bigger picture. And this year, I feel like we're hitting a lot of those bigger picture moments
Yep.
that are the steps to lead us to that. And so, like I
The
said, we have
platforming
sovereignty that's
sorry, just to slow you down. So sovereignty, being an alumni program, and then hitting the big picture goal of being able to platform teachers. So inviting teachers, paying them to offer their methodologies and their wisdom and still be teaching in our community. So that's one program. Yep, keep going.
we're also gonna hopefully be bringing in the fall something program called Space Makers. And so that one I'm really actually excited for because I feel like it's gonna be one of our like big programs that we're really gonna launch out there and just to help people really dive into their programs that they want to build and they want to
Yep.
offer their community. And once
Yep.
again, like it's another program of us building community. It's just like
Breaking
a
down. Space Makers
Mhm.
is going to be focused on the curriculum design aspect. So lots of people are out there launching and hoping to grow their own communities, and lots of people are experts in their modalities. But what I've come to understand is that I'm a trained teacher, transformational educator, and I have a PhD in curriculum. And that is an entire skill set that a lot of people who, you're a specialist in something else, but then you come and essentially you're in the role of a teacher when you're offering your online programs. And without that whole skill set of curriculum design, a lot of people really, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of like problem solving to try to put together a learning experience that people want to come to and stay in and continue to be a part of. And so Space Makers essentially is teaching the teachers how to teach. And not that
Uh,
you don't know how to
mhm.
teach, but like they're just supporting them through some of the more intricate parts of that process, especially with a mind towards creating radical curriculum, people who want to change the world, shift paradigms, and how to do that, not just in the program design of it, but also the marketing of it, the delivery of it, creating the space, which is why it's called Space Makers, the creating the space and creating the culture that goes along with your educational program. That's something that's come really into focus for me. I've had this feeling from back in the classroom that a big part of my lifelong work will be shaping the teachers. And I held that intention with my students, which is why back in the high school classroom, do you remember y'all's finals was always, I made
Yes.
every student, their final was to
Really?
teach the class. And I literally taught them curriculum design. I taught them how to take a topic, how to build in critical thinking, critical reading, critical writing, listening and speaking opportunities, facilitation. My secret agenda has been to create teachers. I'm like, I don't care what profession you end up growing up and going into, wherever you're at, you're going to be a teacher.
Exactly. And I remember that. And I remember we were all like, but it was not bad. It was like she made it so smooth. And so that's I think that's probably why I'm so excited because a lot of this stuff is stuff that a lot of people are very like, I don't feel like dealing with this. I don't know how to get to this point. I just if someone could just say step one, step two. And I think having that is like really helpful and it's going to definitely get your spirits, your energy just in that, like, I can do this. I got this. All I needed was this little outline, and I could have done this whole entire time.
A little outline, but
I
yes,
think you've seen Jodie's, if you've already been a part of her community, you've seen her workbooks and stuff like that. And mind you, guys, a lot of stuff that Joey does, she's always like, oh, it's just this. Like, we're going to just do this. And I'm like, okay, Joey. And then she's like, well, it's now 100 pages. Okay.
okay, you do not have to make 100-page work. It just, if it's easy and it wants to be 100 pages and it just emerges from you, flows out of you, then why not let it be 100 pages, you know? My whole thing is that
But
you can, there is a methodology for you to create radical, life-changing, transformational education and it not be you putting your head through a wall every single time. This is a muscle group that gets to be worked out. And I feel super honored to, try to create an experience that helps train people up. I just remember back in the classroom days, people would be dreading teaching the entire class. And so many people, year after year, that is the most powerful moment. I had a lot of people realize things about themselves in that process and go from having zero confidence to full confidence. I have students now who graduated from my high school classes who are now full-fledged teachers in the public education system, and they will come back to me and tell me it was that experience that like made me see I want to be a teacher and I can do it. And so I'm so excited to bring that to the online space for entrepreneurs and change makers. So Space Makers is coming in the fall, continuing on Ancestral Wealth. Stay tuned on that. That one is probably a little bit more mysterious until it's not, but Ancestral Wealth, the work continues. And
so
anything
yeah,
else,
I just
Malia?
feel yeah, just like I said, I feel like 2025 was definitely our year of learning, trying things, figuring things out, and really scoping things. And I think I'm a lot more excited about this year because I've learned so much from January of last year to this year. I can now get on and do stuff and enjoy, be like, can you do this for me? And I'm like, she doesn't know she didn't teach me that, but I'll be like, it's fine, she'll figure it out. And I figure it out. Now I'm now in that stage where I'm like, we can do this too. And I can figure all these things out and I can take more on for Joey so she can give you guys those curriculums and give you guys the work that you guys need. And I can take off that plate for her. And so I think that's also why I'm excited because with me taking all this off your plate, it gives you now more of that energy to put into what you really want to put into. You guys, I love admin stuff. I'm an admin person. I will sit there and do the workbook and love it. I love copying and pasting and doing this and changing
Email,
things.
those, the little techie, back end things. And the exciting news is that with the business growing, the programs growing, your capacity and skills growing, my capacity and skills growing, your job position is growing. So you've been part-time in what you do for me since the beginning. But by summer, that's what we're on track, is that Malia will then transition into full-time with me. And that's so exciting. We're making this thing happen.
And it is like so exciting because I remember when we first were talking, Joey was like, well, what do you like? What do you really want? And I was like, I just want to be a mom. I want to be able to be at home and I want to be able to take care of my kids. I want to be able to live my life, but also do something meaningful. But a lot of times those stay-at-home jobs were like life insurance or no digs to people who do life insurance.
Right, but yes, no, you totally nailed it. Those stay-at-home jobs are just like call center, telemarketing.
And you guys, I was literally trying to like, we're just gonna do that. So I can be a stay-at-home mom, but my thing is to give you a little background, I've worked with kids like all my life, and that's what I was doing. And so for me, I was giving back to my community of working with these kids, helping kids, and keeping them off the streets from doing dangerous stuff or just being dumb teens. You know what I
Malia
mean?
was a director in the Boys and Girls Club, and she was killing it, so I'm just gonna toot your horn for a second. But when we talk about, like, creating jobs where people don't have to be in institutions that are harming them, their nervous system, you and I are both examples of that. You give back to the community, and you're taking these jobs where you're in an institution that's less than perfect and is doing harm not only to the people that are in it, but also to you, but that's not sustainable. And especially once you start becoming a parent, having your own family, you start to have to make bigger choices for yourself,
Mhm.
right? So
And that's where it came down. I was just like, what can I do? Because I felt like I'm at work taking care of everyone else's kids, and I get home and I'm drained, tired, and my daughter wants to play, and I'm like, oh, I just want to lay here. And so just all that being aligned with this being in the works and it working out and me getting to that position. I told Joey, and I was like, working for you feels so right. It just feels so right. It feels so perfect. It's everything that I've been wanting, and I didn't know it was there, and you brought it to me, and I think I knew it was there. I was like, I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom where I can work and be with my kids. That's me. But I just felt it was so unreachable. It just didn't
mhm.
seem like it was gonna happen. So for Joey to be able to help make that happen for me and just work that out, and she just hitting on my key points: a fulfilling job, being at home with my child.
Talk about reciprocity. It's not just me handing you a job because you need it or whatever. I can't imagine doing what I'm doing without you. Literally, I say that she's 50% of the brain. Right before we hit record on this podcast, I was racking my mind to try to solve a problem like for weeks. And then we just talked about it in 2 minutes. Well, he goes, "Well, why don't this, that?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I would have never thought of that." But the way you put it is so simple. And it was the whole solution to something that I could not have solved all by myself. And it happens all the time with you. You really are the brain, in addition to everything else that you do for me. But the undying support and faith and belief in me, and then your brain coming and filling all the gaps where, my brain is only smart some of the time, and then the rest of the time it's not so smart, and that's where Malia steps in to have the big ideas for us.
Yeah, Joey. But yes, we are so excited for this year. This year is just the it year where it's gonna really put us in position to be in Hawaii, in a school, from the
Mhm.
rooms here, like just doing all that. Like I'm just saying. So it's just I'm so
In the bigger vision, we've been talking about in-person retreats, so we don't know. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe I say that here to speak it in existence. 2026 is that retreat year? Maybe. Stay tuned.
I'm just saying, Joey. I've been saying like I just need to get my passport. Like I just need to get it just
Yeah,
in case. I
get
need
it
just get it.
ready.
I was like, there's a reason for it. Yes.
Everything we say we're gonna make happen, we make it happen. So get ready.
Absolutely.
Okay, this has been amazing. I'm so glad we were finally able to have this conversation. It feels like a really, really good way to close out. I know it's officially almost a month into 2026, but we just Ancestral Wealth and Sovereign Storyteller as of today, and now wrapping up with this 2025 in review podcast conversation, and looking forward to all that we can still create, all that is yet to come. Thank you for sitting and talking to me, Malia. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to this revival of our podcast. More episodes will be coming out soon. I'll be having some solo episodes with Malia, as well as some guests. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel so you can stay in the loop and get all that we have to offer here on the podcast. Thank you for listening. Until next time, I'll see you later.